All right, I am back now to do some logic functions with you, which will be if, and or. The if is what I like to call a logic test. It is going to look for something and give you an answer based on if that answer is true or if that answer is false. And is a logic test that it will give you a result if all the conditions are met. An or is a logic test that it will give you results if either or any of the results from the criteria are met. So you can use and or functions to create conditional formulas. The results in a logic test will be the value of true or the value of false. So you're not with an if statement, with an if function, excuse me, you can have the answer be anything that you want it to be. With an and an or, your answer will either be true or false. So an and, if it meets all of the conditions, will give you a true answer. If one of the two aren't met, it gives you a false. Or if one of the three aren't met, it gives you a false. Or just needs one of the two or one of the three or one of the five to get a true result, and then if nothing matches, then it gives you a false result. Okay, so an if statement is a conditional formula where it states the specific condition or an answer to a logical question. And an if is set up as a conditional statement to test data. That's why I called it a logic test. An if formula returns one value if the condition is true and another if it is false. And here's your syntax for that. If logical test value true, logic value, if not, it would be false. And we're going to first practice with our if statement back on that workbook that we were using before, the 10 Fabricam bonus solution. We're going to go back to the performance worksheet tab this time. And we are going to be here in G. So we're looking to see if our goal was achieved. Okay. So I'm going to be on the formulas tab and the function library. This falls under logical. Okay. And you can see all our logic functions listed here. And we are working on if right now. So here are your three arguments: logic test, value of true, and value if false. So the first one is the test. Okay. What am I essentially trying to get to see what the results would be? Okay. So goal achieved. Well, this one's kind of vague. You'd have to know your company and what your goal is. So what they are saying is our goal achieved essentially is our actual sales greater than our sales goal. So if they are, then we would say yes or we would say no. So our actual sales more equal to or more than our sales goal. We want to include it so that if they were even. Okay. So if D5 is greater than or equal to sales goal, put the word yes. And if it is not, if it's less than, you put the word no. We could make it be happy and sad if we wanted to for the true and the false. That's the nice thing about an if, where you can specify it to be any wording choice that you want it to be based on the test. Unlike and or, it's always going to give you a result of true or false. Okay. So if we look here for Richard's actual sales were 3,200. His goal was 3,375. So the answer should be no. If I come down here, my little preview, yep, it says no. The next one, it's for David was 3,500 and his goal was 3,375. So he should have a yes. And then, of course, you always want to ask yourself, do I want to lock anything in? Well, I want D5 to become D6 and I want C5 to become C6. So I don't need to lock anything in. I press OK. And the answer is no. And if I scoot down here to David, look, he's yes. And then I can continue to fill this down. They want us to actually go all the way down to, they want us to go all the way down to 12 here because we're going to see if overall company met their actual sales. And the answer is no right now. Okay. So we see that our sales goal was 14,725 and we ended up at 14,300 and 69. And we would probably have a conversation as a company. Do we set the sales too high? Does something, in the economy impact us? Are our salespeople not performing? Is it our product? I mean, you would have a long, lengthy conversation based on this just column G because you didn't achieve your sales goals. So very useful data analysis here when it comes to what they are looking at. Okay, so we're going to do this again, okay, and we are going to look to see if the agent gets a bonus, okay. So we are in H5. I'm going to press FX this time, and if is up here, so I'm going to click on if, and I'm going to press OK. Now, this time I am looking to see if they get a bonus, and their bonus is going to be based on the fact if they achieve their goal. So I am looking for G5 to be equal to yes, okay? And I'm going to click down here, and I see this pound red name here, and that is because of my word yes. When I type in words myself, I've got to encase them in a double quotation mark. Okay, so now if I click down here, you see that red goes away. So a rule of thumb, when you are typing in words, or if you have spaces in your string, you really should encompass it in 2 sets of double quotation marks. So G5, you're looking to see if G5 says yes. If G5 says yes, do this. If G5 says something besides yes, do this. So G5 for us, for Richard, says no. So it's going to end up being a false, right? But if G5 said yes, okay, we would take and multiply E5 times D5, okay? So they would get the bonus. But if it's not, okay, they don't get a bonus. You put 0 in there. So Richard's going to have a 0, where David is going to have his, in this case, E6 multiplied by his D6 because he got a bonus. So I'm looking for this. This is the test. If the test is true, do this. If the test is false, do this. I'm going to press OK. So I see that line, which represents 0. They want us to fill this down and go to H11 this time, okay, because this is a sum function here. So Richard has a no bonus. Ryan has no bonus. Nicole has no bonus. And Michael has no bonus. And then, of course, we see yes for David, Kim, and Linda, and it's going to multiply. So see how this one we made the if statement say yes or no, and this one we actually had to do some math. So if is a little more flexible than an and or an or because you can do a little bit more with it. Okay, so now we're going to try another one. This time, same idea. We're going to look for the back office bonus opposed to the agent bonus. So I'm going to press FX up here on the formulas ribbon. If is right here. I could type if up here in my search box if I wanted to as well. So this time I am looking a little bit different. The back office bonus is not calculated the same as the agent bonus. The agent bonus is based off of their actual sales. Your office people bonus are usually based off of a total number, if you will, and multiplied, or if they achieved over a certain amount as a company as a whole. So these are like your office people essentially getting a bonus because your salespeople did a good job. So your office people are encouraging your salespeople, of course, so they get a bonus as well. And then, of course, the agent people get a bonus because they did their job. Some of you might disagree or agree that this is a good idea, but it happens a lot in businesses. So with this one, okay, the back office bonus is based off if the company achieved its goal. Okay, so they are looking for G12 to say yes. Okay, so I'm going to say G12 equals, and I'm going to type the word yes in. So remember, I got to put that in double quotation marks. So does G12 say yes? No. So are they going to get a bonus? No. Okay, so that will impact us, okay? So the answer would be false. So if it said yes, okay, if this G12 did say yes, I would take F5, okay, for Richard, and I would multiply that by D5, okay? And then if it says no, of course I don't get a bonus, so I put a 0 in there. I'm gonna press OK. And then I'm gonna fill this down, okay? Now, what I wanna show you, I was in I5 using 5's numbers, okay? Now I'm in I6, and I'm using 6's numbers, but guess what? Look down here. G12 is now G13. So what did I forget to do? You're right. In the original one, I forgot to lock in G12. I always want G12 to be G12 no matter how I fill this down, okay? So let's get rid of that. So if I click on I5, I can quickly get back into a function by pressing FX, or I could back it out and start all over again if I wanted to as well. But I'm just going to press FX and click on G12, make sure my cursor is blinking somewhere near it, and I'm going to press F4. I'm going to lock it in. I'm going to press OK, and I'm going to fill this down. Now, I still have nothing, 0 bonus, because this still says no. I've double click in here, okay, but I'm looking to test to see if G12 is always G12 in these, because that's what I fixed. So same row, but G12 is G12, always and always and always. All right, so now, okay, we found a paper, we found a sales slip. Someone decided to buy something else that increased our sales. So we are going to change Richard's sales from 3,200 to 3,900. Okay, press enter. Voila, look, this changed. Bonuses changed. The G12 total changed because now I'm over that mark of sales versus actual. So this becomes yes. Bonuses went up under agent bonus, and they all end up getting a bonus over here besides Michael. But that's because he hasn't been there long enough. And most of the time, you don't get a bonus till after your first year anyway. And all this recomputes because we're doing cell referencing opposed to actual just the numbers like 97,500. Everything will automatically change because of that. All right, I'm going to press save. I'm going to come back to my PowerPoint. And we are going to talk about the AND now. The AND function returns a true if the arguments are true and a false if they are false. Your syntax is and then you can have a bunch of different logic tests, depends on how many that you need in your particular exercise. Okay, so I'm going to come back here to my workbook, and I'm going to go to the annual sales worksheet tab now. And I am going to be in cell B6, okay? So I am under formulas, and again, this is logical, and I want and I have logic 1 and logic 2. So what I'm doing here is I am looking for, in B6 in year 1, okay, I am looking for my total sales, B16, okay, to be greater than or equal to B3. Okay, so here are my total sales for my salespeople. Okay, and here are my sales goals. So this is what actually happened. This was my goal, and I am looking to see if what I actually did in year 1 was above what I predicted my goal to be for year 1. Okay, so that's the first part of this. Okay, then I am going to press OK, and I see the word true because I predicted 10,000 and I ended up with 11,000. Okay, so now that met it, so I have the word true. Okay, so in C6, I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, and I am going to go under here so you can see recently used. So this is just another way to do it, and I can pick and I am going to see if C16 is greater than or equal to C3, okay? But this time, I'm going to have 2 parts to it, okay? So now I'm going to look and see if C16, okay, is greater than or equal to B16, okay? So if C16 is greater than or equal to B16. Then I'm going to multiply that by 1.05. Okay. So if C16 is greater than or equal to B16, which it is, if C16 is greater than or equal to B16, which it is, I'm going to multiply by 1.05. Okay. So for year 2, I am going to do this. Okay. So the it's saying that, of course, we know that C16 is greater than C3. I can see that 12,099 is greater than 12,000, so that meets the requirement. And then I can see that C16 is greater than B16, so that means that's also true. Both of these would have to be true for this one to come back as a true statement. So I press OK, and I get the answer of true. And then they want us to copy this over from C6 to F6. Now, if I look over here, okay, year 3, 13,200, okay, I needed D16 to be more, and it's not, so that makes it false right then and there. And then I also said, is D16 greater than C16, which it is, okay? So one part's true and one part's false, so it still is false because both of the conditions aren't met, okay? So this one's true and this one's false because though my F16, okay, is not, again, greater than my F3, but my F16 is greater than my E16. But they both have to be correct, match, meet the criteria, meet the condition, however you want to say it, for it to give a result with true with the AND function. Okay. Now, the OR function, you have a little bit more leeway. The OR function, okay, this is going to give you almost the opposite. So it says, although all the arguments in the AND function have to be true for the function return true, only one of the arguments in the OR function have to be true for the function to return a value of true. The syntax for OR function is similar to AND, so you just keep putting in logics or just have one. With the function, the argument must evaluate the logical values such as true or false or reference that contain logical values, and we are obviously going to give this a try. So we are now going to come back to our workbook. We're going to go to the performance worksheet tab, and we're going to be in J5. So it says included in back office. Okay. So we are under formulas. We are under logical, and we see OR down here in our list. And we have our dialog box. So again, as we, do one, you can add another and add another and add another. So we are looking for has Richard worked with the company for less than 4 years? So to be included in the back of the, and to be included in the back office is essentially what this one is going to do. So we are looking for B5 because that has the number of years to be greater than, okay, to be greater than 4 essentially. So we are looking to see if it is less than 4. And then if G5, okay, is equal to no. Okay, remember and we're typing in the words, we got to include the double quotation before and after. Okay, so if has he been in the office less than 4 years? Well, that's not true, guys. That's false. And if G5, no, well, that is it says yes right here, so that one's false as well. And I press OK, and I get the answer of false. So not included in the back of the office because neither of these meet the requirements. If I take this and I fill it down, okay, same thing with David, and then I get to Ryan. Ryan's been here 10 years, okay, but remember the other part of this was that G7 equaled no. Well, G7 equals no, so we're going to include him in the back of the office. False for Kim, and then we see Nicole, who has a no and has been here for 4 years. Now it was less than 4, so that's not included all as well. So The no is because of this part, or because half of it met is what I'm trying to say. And then, of course, we see Linda. Linda's been here 1 year, and she got a bonus, so that's why this one is going to be true. Okay, and then we have our half a year employee, which really kind of doesn't matter. All right, so it says in cell J7, okay, is the first column where they return the value of true. To see the arguments, we can, to go back in there and to see what we did, you can just press FX is what it is saying. And notice if I click in logic 2, it adds a logic 3, and so you can add more. You can do 255 conditions if you wanted to. That's even more than the last one that we talked about when we were doing our first and second video segment. All right, I'm going to press OK, and I am going to press save, and that is the end of the logic functions. Thank you.